Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome everyone to W.H. Morden Public School and the Halton District School Board. It's great to have our minister here, as well as our MPP, Kevin Flynn, and other distinguished guests, such as Pat Case as well. I'd also like to welcome the director of the Halton District School Board, Stuart Miller, who is here as well joining us, and also our chair of the board, Indira Naidoo-Harris, and our co-chair of the board, Tracy L. Harrison. It's great to have our minister here. We have a wonderful club at our school called Change Club. We have a number of grades 7, 8 students who really want to make a positive change not only in our school, but in our community and in our world. And it is wonderful that we are able to recognize them today. We're very proud of our students, and we're proud how they represent W.H. Morden at our school. First, I'd like to call up Stuart Miller, who is going to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Conan, and thank you for welcoming us all into the school, and of course a special gratitude to Minister of Labour, Kevin Flynn, Patrick Case, Equity, ADM, Chair of the Board, Andrea Grabentz, and Vice Chair Tracy L. Harrison, and of course the Minister of Education and the Early Years, Indira Naidoo-Harris. This is a great venue to talk about things like equity, but I would say as a board, what we long for is when we don't need the word promoting equity, that it's in the very beings of everything we do. And we're working towards that goal. We have challenges, and we will continue to have challenges as Ontario changes, as Halton changes, as Morden changes. But it's something that we believe is at the core of our work. We've always said that we talk about schools, and normally, quite often the public talks about achievement. I believe strongly, as does our senior admin team, that before you can have achievement, you must have culture. And before you can have culture, you must have equity. And so without equity, we don't have achievement. And regardless of whether it's socioeconomic, ethnic, religious, sexual orientation, whatever it is, we must and will continue to work on it. So I will end my comments in a second, but I just want to emphasize that, and I said it at the beginning, we really long for the day where we're not making speeches about equity, where as director of the Halton District School Board, we don't even think about it because it's in our very core, it's in our very being, and it's just the way we live. It's the way we are, and it's not something that we have to be overt about. We're not there yet, and we're probably a long way from being there, but that's what we're working towards. So thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Conan.
I'd like to ask Kevin Flynn to come up and say a few words for us.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here this morning, and anybody that knows Oakville, the way I know Oakville, having been elected for a number of years, and really understands what a terrific school board we have here, will understand how special this building is, and not just the building, but the people that are in this building here. When you mention the name Morden, all sorts of visions appear in your head, all sorts of images come up. And it's about young people doing very, very special things. It's about young people that excel in all sorts of areas of their life, but are able to come together, often from different geographic areas, to come together every day in one building and to do some very, very special things. We try to get in, the minister and I and our colleagues in the House, try to visit students in grade 5, because it's when they first start to engage in civics. It's when you first start to learn about government, and maybe you've got a role to play in the future of the society. And I can tell you the times when I visited Morden for that grade 5 experience, the questions are a little different. The questions are often much more global, and the range of the questions is much more broad than I find in other schools. Ontario is very, very proud of its public education system. When we talk about how well Ontario is doing, how well the economy is doing, unemployment's at an all-time low, it's not too far behind when we start talking about the reasons for that. And the reasons for that is the skills that our people have, the skills that our young people learn as they go through the best public education system, I think, in the world, but certainly in the English-speaking world. And sometimes we take that for granted. And sometimes I think from a student's perspective, it's a place that mom or dad sent me. just told me to go to school today. There's a building down the street, so I went there. And we don't often put that in a broader context and say, if this is all the schools in the world and these are the ones that are doing really well and these are the ones that perhaps aren't doing really well, a lot of people are surprised to find that they go to a school that is doing really, really well, that they're at the top of the list. When you look at the Halton board, always ranks in the top 3 when they do any sort of evaluation around the province. So when you find you're in a school that's in a board that's one of the top boards in the entire world, you realize that you really are going to a special place. And when you're, I think, a young person that attends Morden, you've been taken out of the mainstream a little bit because there's things that you can do that we know you're capable of with a little extra attention, that you're capable of doing some incredible things. So I try to brag about that. When I go down to Queen's Park, I go down and tell my colleagues, I've got Morden. You know, I've got Morden School. It's in Oakville. I got some really incredible kids down there. You should come and visit them. Often it's tough to get the Minister of Education because the Minister of Education may live on the other side of the province or may live up in Northern Ontario. Well, that excuse has been taken away from me now because the Minister of Education is my neighbor. And the Minister of Education probably twice a day drives by within a half a mile of this school. So I'm so proud today to have my colleague here, Minister Naidoo-Harris. She's become a friend over the years. We've fought some political battles together, and certainly we've been able to accomplish, I think, some things for the region of Halton that are simply going to make it a better place to live. But there's no better place to welcome Minister Indira Naidoo-Harris to my community than in a school like Morden and with students like yourself. So Indira, I'm not going to steal any of the thunder about the great announcement you're going to make, but please take the podium. Welcome to Oakville. And welcome to Morden.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Kevin. And he really was right when he says we're neighbors and we've been spending a lot of time together over the last few years, doing many things, but most importantly, making sure that our young people in our communities are on track. And I know that that is something that Minister Flynn feels very strongly about and speaks about frequently in the House and in caucus. Good morning, everyone. Bonjour, bonjour, Annie. It is absolutely fantastic to be here this morning, right here in Oakville, and to be here at this wonderful school, so W.H. Morden, and to be here with all of you. You know, I want to recognize before I get started, of course, Principal Spruan and certainly Pat Case, our ADM who is here on equity, Stuart Miller, who I've known for years, I think I can say now, Stuart, and we've been doing many different things over the years, but it's a real pleasure to be working with Stuart now in my new role, and I know that when it comes to students in Halton, they are absolutely in good hands with Stuart Miller and his team. So I'm here today to make a special announcement, but one that I think will be of particular interest to those of you who are here and the Change Club, because you all are concerned about what we can do to improve our community, to improve society, and to create inclusive, welcoming communities for everyone so that everyone has a voice and everyone is respected. And so today we're going to talk about creating an education system that is equitable, inclusive, and good for Ontario, good for our students, good for our communities, and good for the families. I first want to acknowledge, of course, that Oakville is located on the traditional territory of many Indigenous peoples going back countless generations, and I want to show my respect for their contributions in building what is now Ontario and Canada. This is such a great school, you know, and I got that feeling as soon as I walked in this morning by getting a kind of a mini tour just by all of you from the Change Club, explaining to me about your snowball dance, your cakewalk, my personal favorite, and I'm going to try to convince Minister Flynn to come down here and join me on that. But all the various things that you're doing, not just to involve young people, to have you all work together to build a better society. And that speaks volumes about the school, about your families, and about the educators here, because it really shows that you all get it, right? We're all in this together, and we're all going to work together to create something special and a place that we can all call home. And you know, as I was walking in, I was being shown some of the drawings on the walls, and those drawings were extremely important because they're so reflective of where we are today as a society. They were about mental health. They were about bullying. They were about harassment. And they were about how you treat your friends and your neighbors with respect and how you help them along when things aren't going so well. And so my hat goes off to all of you here because you have been doing a fantastic job, and I know you're going to continue doing that. So this school is exceptional. It's exceptional because of the students, the educators, and the teachers here. And if I'm correct, this school is also exceptional, let me get this straight, because of your concert band? Is that true? Are those the ones I heard when I came in playing? Oh, it wasn't them. Okay, well, from what I understand, they're going to the Nationals, and I just heard that was happening last night, so good for you. I think they deserve a round of applause along with all of you. You know, we all want the best for our children, so it's important to provide them with a good education. And research shows there's a positive link between parent engagement, student achievement, and well-being. Because when kids are supported by their families, magic happens. They are able to really get on track to reach their full potential. And we know that good schools become great schools when parents are involved in their children's education. That's why our Parent Reaching Out grants, frankly, always been one of my favorite things to do is go to these announcements, are so important because it encourages parents to get involved in their students' education. In fact, this school received a PRO grant last year for providing workshops for parents on equity and inclusion. I think that's fantastic. That says volumes about this school. We are so fortunate to live in a province and a country that is one of the most diverse in the world, but also recognizes the strength of our diversity. And that's why our commitment to equity and inclusion is critical for Ontario schools. It's about making sure that everyone feels accepted and everyone feels strong where they are. Embracing equity is key to the success of our students, the success of our communities, and the success of our province. And so that's why, as government, we created the Education Equity Secretariat to identify and remove practices that really can do away with those feelings of respect and acceptance. And so we want to make sure we remove discriminatory practices, systemic barriers and biases from schools and classrooms. And we're working tirelessly with all of you to build an inclusive public education system for all students across this great province, so that no matter who our students are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background, you will be able to achieve your full potential. That's our job. We need to give you that chance, and we're working hard to build that. And as you know, Stuart Miller said, as the director said, we are all working towards a day when we don't want to talk about this because we don't have to talk about it, because people get it. And I think we're on that path now. We're heading towards that day. So it's about equity, it's about diversity, it's about creating a strong path forward through education for all kids. And let me say that I'm proud of the progress that we've all made as part of our Education Equity Action Plan. And so I'm pleased to announce today that we've made great strides in making our education system more equitable and more inclusive. Since we released our plan, we have initiated important training for trustees around equity, ethics, and governance. I believe it's close to 60 trustees that have already had some of that training. The first round of these intensive sessions are wrapping up today, and so that's so important. We've also been engaging with school boards and experts to move forward with a consistent approach to data collection. We want to know who our students are. Who are you? What are your challenges? How can we help you? We can't do that. As you all know, you can't do it without good research. That's how we really move forward with good ideas. And so I'm happy to say that we have 15 school boards who have stepped up to participate in the first wave of this important work. Now, another critical part of our action plan has to do with increasing parent engagement, getting your parents out there and more involved. And so this will help give parents opportunities to stay in touch with their kids' learning experiences and also improving your chances of success. It's great for schools, it's great for communities, and it's great for your families, right? So I'm pleased to announce today that applications starting today are being accepted for the 2018-19 PRO grant cycle. Extremely important. I want you to go home today and tell all of your parents and everyone that you know that they should be reaching out, coming up with some ideas, and really applying for those grants. This new year, of course, this new kickoff, I should say, is amazing. There's an enhanced focus on projects that promote equity and inclusion. This is something new, and that's why I'm here to tell you all this today, because what we are doing is something we haven't done before. We're using the PRO grants to actually encourage people to come forward with ideas of equity and inclusion when they're applying for their grants, how they can involve all of the student communities and all parents in what they're doing. Grants are available for school councils, parent involvement committees, and not-for-profit organizations, and we're working with parents and organizations to create those connections and those bridges. So projects, for example, like the one here, the workshop that you held to create safe spaces. This year, we're also encouraging applicants to develop projects that engage parents who have not previously been engaged in their communities. Those families out there who may be new and really don't know how to get engaged in the school. So I'm going to say to all of you in our school community, get out there and reach out. Parent reaching out grants are one step, but you do your own reaching out and encourage those parents and families to get involved, including parents from racially and ethnically diverse communities. We want to make sure we have all the voices at the table, and we want to continue to encourage applications from schools in various parts of the province, including high needs. So, as the Minister of Education and as a parent, I believe all kids should get the best start in life. I want to build and continue to build a quality, inclusive school system. That's what we're here to do today, and today is the first step in our PRO grants portion of encouraging parents and schools to be more inclusive. So, because, of course, when our children succeed, we all succeed. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech. Thanks for having me, and it's been great visiting with you all today. Thank you. I'd now like to ask ADM Patrick Case to come up, an amazing gentleman, and he's going to tell you more about the equity piece.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Minister. It's really delightful to be here. Look, the Equity Secretariat opened its doors last May the 15th. And it was September the 7th last year that we went to a school to announce that the Equity Action Plan had been launched. So that was the beginning of the school year. I got to tell you, I can't believe the excitement and the take-up across the province on this Equity Action Plan. It's quite amazing. I mean, I spend most of my time, and the staff in our office spend a lot of their time with grins on their faces, right? Because every single day there's somebody else stepping up to work with us on data gathering, to work with us on other discrete parts of the plan. As the Minister mentioned, the training sessions for the first wave of training sessions for trustees is ending today, and that wave will continue after the next election. There are other sessions planned for which trustees will be present. We're tremendously excited about those sessions and about the take-up of the plan around the province. What seems to have happened, really, is that for many boards and schools, the plan has given people renewed purpose in the work that they're doing in relation to equity. Let me just speak very briefly about the work that's being done in relation to data gathering. So we've got these 15 boards around a table, right? And at first the directors met, and sort of pledging their commitment to working on data gathering. And since then, through a number of meetings, we've had the researchers and other staff and boards come together to meet to talk about how to do this as a province, how to do this work so that when data is gathered in one board, it makes sense in the board next door and around other parts of the province. Tremendously exciting work, and the people who were involved with it are incredibly dedicated individuals. It's what'll happen is that within the next 6 to 8 months, a couple of those boards will deploy surveys within their boards, and then after that, beginning of next year, a lot more will follow. We're really excited to see what happens as a result of this data, because what's going to happen in the most important sense is that it's going to give board administrators and trustees the evidentiary base upon which to focus programs for greater success in relation to equity. So we couldn't be more delighted about the take-up. As in respect to the parent reaching out grants that Minister just announced, the wish here and the hope is that even though many boards and schools, such as the school we're in right now, use their grants for equity purposes, that boards will step up their game as far as that's concerned, and that's why the intentional focus in the parent reaching out grant for on equity. So, just to say that. Watch this space, people, as we move forward with the implementation of the plan, because I think we're going to see some great things and some really important outcomes for children in the province. Thanks very much.
I would just like to call the minister back up to see if there are any questions. Thank you.
Do you want to come up too, Kevin?
No, I have a question.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Are there any questions? Well, I just want to thank really the school and the staff and the teachers here, all of you, all of the educators here today for having us. It's been a wonderful morning, and I know you're all going to have a great day. I wish I could spend my day with you, but I have to head to Queen's Park. But thank you for hosting us here today, and really get out there and get the word out about the PRO grants, and making them more inclusive, and start thinking about some ideas about what your parents and you all could work on in terms of our schools and this school here specifically. Thank you. Thank you for having me.